Hey rockers, welcome back to the channel, man, and happy weekend. It seems like I have this peculiar habit of filming my videos between 2 and 3 a.m., which is kind of weird, but that's the way it works. At least I'm making videos, right? Hey, before I get into the story tonight, gonna go back to 1987. I just want to remind you guys, my latest album, my 10th album, Dark Days Unfazed, available now on cassette tape and CD. Yeah, that's right. Thanks to Bird Eater Entertainment for releasing my album on cassette tape, and Fanatic Records and Ragged Records for releasing the album on CD. If you would like to purchase either of these bad boys, there's not many left. You can reach me by emailing me, and my email is in the description area of just about every video that I produce. My friends, please take a moment to subscribe to the channel and give it a like and a comment, please. Going back to the year 1987, to a band that calls themselves a rock and roll band with horns. I'm speaking of the great band from Chicago. Chicago! Yeah, man. I always liked Chicago. And somebody gave me free tickets to see Chicago. Front row tickets to see Chicago at the Peoria Illinois Civic Center. The date was June 3rd, 1987, and it was the 17 tour. That was the name of the tour. The guys had released a greatest hits album in 86, 87, and they were touring to support that greatest hits album. And of course, the 17 tour was very interesting for me because not only did I get free tickets to the show, but I decided to drop some of the Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds, if you know what I'm talking about. Yeah, old Sid. So I did some Sid. I don't remember who in the hell I went to this show with, but I wasn't alone. And man, was I tripping balls at this show. And I mean tripping balls. Whenever I used to do those things back in the old days, those kind of crazy psychedelics like Sid, I would sweat like a madman. You could always tell, yep, that guy's on something, and I would just be sweating profusely. My eyeballs would be like black basketballs. They were so big, you know, because it expands your pupils. So, I decided to go to the show. I decided to drop some Sid, and boy, was I in for a delight. Now, Chicago, not exactly like a hard rock band or whatever, but I'm telling you, these guys are great, man. Rest in peace to the great Terry Kath, who was the original star of that band. A guy that Jimi Hendrix said was the greatest guitar player in the world. Terry Kath. What a great, great talented man. Died way too young. And I'm sending my respects to his family and friends. If you're watching, long live Terry Kath, man. What a dude. What a dude. So the night approaches. It was like $15, by the way, to buy a ticket. But mine were free. Again, front freaking row. I get to the show. I have no recollection if there was an opening act or if there was an opening act, who they were. Don't know if I missed them or if I just forgot. But I was really jazzed to see Chicago. The crowd was mostly older, more conservative types, some rock fans, of course, and then, you know, you had your, like, long-time Chicago fans. Peoria, Illinois is about 2.5, 3 hours south of Chicago, so lots of fans of the band Chicago in Illinois, of course. Tripping hard. The show begins, and I'm just sweating like a madman, just dripping sweat. And I had black hair at the time, yeah. And I'm wearing something like I was wearing now, black leather jacket, right? And I was just so pumped. And when you're tripping on those kind of things, music is like an orgasm to the ears. It's literally ear candy, man. And the band sounded fantastic. Now, when you're tripping, the sound of a breaking glass might sound fantastic, but it was beautiful. You know, I'm like, here I am. I'm not at a punk show. I'm not at a metal show. I'm seeing Chicago. It's free, and it's front row, right? So I'm excited. The band starts to play, and I'm way enthusiastic, right? So after every song, literally, I was up front, standing up, yelling, yeah, like at the loud as I could. And the band kept looking over at me and making comments on the PA system. And I mean, it happened like a half a dozen times. Maybe you were at the show and you remember seeing my stupid ass there. Leave a comment below if you were. Anyway, so I'm getting myself noticed. I'm not thinking about that. I'm just going with the proverbial flow, literally enjoying the hell out of Chicago. And I just kept screaming. And here's the funny part. Almost every other time when the band would end, I would be like, yeah, Chicago. And they're like, boy, this guy's really into it tonight. And people are laughing at me in the audience and probably thinking, what the hell is this guy on? He's sweating like a madman. He's screaming. He won't sit down. What's wrong with this dude? Well, finally, I started yelling, Cetera! You know, Peter Cetera, the great musician and, of course, one of the stars of the band Chicago until he left the band Chicago in 1985, 2 years before this show. And here I am, after almost every song, thinking that Peter Cetera is still in the band. What an idiot. We didn't have the internet then. I just didn't know. And I'm yelling, Cetera! Yeah, Peter Cetera! Almost after every song. And these guys were cracking up on stage like, what the hell is this guy on? I tell you, man, it was funnier in person, but I did it almost after every song, and they would literally talk about me like every 2 or 3 songs. It was like, there's this guy again. He's not going away, and he's tripping on something, man, and it's not just natural, fresh oxygen. Anyway, I've got a set list here. It's the actual set list the band played while I was screaming like a madman. I wasn't trying to heckle the band. I wasn't trying to be rude. I was tripping, and I was genuinely enjoying it. I mean, these guys have so many freaking hit songs. And again, man, Cetera! Peter Cetera wasn't in the band, man. What an idiot. They started off the show with the great hit 25 or 6-4. When you hear that one tripping, whoo, it's just beautiful, man. All those horns going on. Then they did Along Comes a Woman into the song You're My Inspiration. Another big hit for Chicago. And then, of course, Saturday in the Park. Probably one of my very best and favorite songs by the band Chicago. After that song ended, guess what I did? Yeah! Cetera! They probably thought, what a moron. And then they did If She Would Have Been Faithful, followed by Does Anybody Really Know What Time It Is? Does Anybody Really Care? That's another great one, man. That might be one of my favorites, too. They did a song called Niagara Falls, a song called Stay the Night, and then they did Make Me Smile. And I'm telling you, I assure you, that night, I was cheesing out, man. I was smiling, happy. Yeah. And I kept yelling, Cetera! You guys rule! I was yelling so loud that I think I might have been louder than the freaking band, and they had a PA system. They did a song called Dialogue, part number 1 and 2. They did Will You Still Love Me? Another huge hit for Chicago. Hard Habit to Break. It's All Right. Then they did a song called Hard to Say I'm Sorry, followed by Get Away, of course. They did Feeling Stronger Every Day. I remember very vividly that song giving me such inspiration. My little drug-fueled heart, mind, and soul were taken aback in a good way, because I kept thinking, feeling stronger every day. Such a positive, inspiring song. And, well, when you're in the state of mind I was in, everything sounded like freaking heaven. And that song, it was almost like it was literally being directed at me. Hell, it might have been. You never know. Then they did a great cover by the Spencer Davis Group, I'm a Man. God, I love the Spencer Davis Group. After I'm a Man, which, by the way, the crowd was singing along to, man, Stevie Winwood and the great Spencer Davis Group. Then they did a Wilson Pickett tune. That's right, man, In the Midnight Hour, a song that I used to cover in my old band, The Renegades, back in 1995-96. The last song of the night, don't remember which songs were the encores or not, but the last song they did was another cover that was made popular in the disco era by Amy Stewart. But it was actually originally done by an artist named Eddie Floyd. And the song I'm talking about, Knock on Wood. You gotta knock, knock, knock on wood. Woody Woodpecker right here, buddy. Anyway, the band was killer. I didn't want to leave, man. But I remember when the show was over and the lights came up, everyone in that band was looking over at me like, who's the nut job that was screaming? People in the crowd were kind of trying to stay away from me. I mean, originally I went there just wanting to see a show, and then I had to drop the Sid, and well, Satira! The guy left the band 2 years before that. He had a very successful solo career. Peter Satira was the bass player of the band, occasionally playing, the guitar, but he was also the lead vocalist. Now, the 3 original members that were with Chicago on that very evening that I was tripping and yelling, Satira, was Robert Lamb on keyboards and vocals, Lee Launane on trumpet, and James Pankow on the trombone. Yep, that was it, man. Did I say rest in peace, Terry Kath? I did. And at this point, rest in peace, Peter Cetera, as far as Chicago, because he went on to do big things on his own. And every time I yelled, Cetera, I feel like I should be smacked in the head or knocked upside my wood head, man. But Chicago was great, I got to tell you. Front row, tripping, summertime in Peoria. I had a blast, and every song, like I said, was like a little orgasm in my little ear. Thanks for checking out my stupid little tale, and I promise you, I've got some good ones coming up. I've got some personal stories. I've got some GG stories. I've got some punk. I've got some metal. I've got more outlaw country. Slow down there, hyper boy. Listen, man, I'm going to sign off and crash. It's late, but first I'm going to toke a bowl. Anyway, thanks for being here. Stay young, stay real, and please come back and visit me again right here at Bloody F Mess Official. Happy weekend once again. Satira!